is what we were discussing the last day. That is how to take user input through the command line arguments. So the last day we did discuss on the topic of how to take user input from command line arguments. A question to everyone: was that absolutely clear to you all? Like, you all understand that completely properly? You all have been able to execute that? So did you guys understand this, what we were discussing the earlier day, how to implement this concept? This was the basic format where we just use these two arguments, the argument counter and the argument values. So did you all understand this? Anyone having any doubts in this particular process? Anyone wants that this be repeated again?
Yes, sir. Plus, can you repeat this, sir?
Okay, all right. Okay, so I was thinking that perhaps a repetition of this once again would be a little bit beneficial to all of you. That is the reason why I thought that let's just go through this, let's just write a code directly and see how this is working. Okay, so let me give you guys a question. This is your question set 2. We will solve these questions, but first we will go through some more simpler questions. Okay, so suppose I pick up first question only. Write a C program to accept an integer through command line arguments and check whether it is an even number or an odd number. This is a very simple question, right? Should not be difficult at all. Very easy question. Anyone says that a question like this is very difficult, I will not be able to solve it.
স্যার
Yes.
স্যার এর আগের দিন যে প্রোগ্রামটা দেখিয়েছিলেন সেটাতে লেখা ছিল কি আমরা একটার বেশি যদি আর্গুমেন্ট নিই তাহলে স্যার একটা মেসেজ প্রিন্ট হবে, এটা সেটাই ছিল। কিন্তু স্যার কমান্ড লাইন আর্গুমেন্টটা কি করে নেয় সেটা কোনো একটা প্রোগ্রামিং করে দেখাবে যে জিনিসটা কি করে নেয়?
কমান্ড লাইন আর্গুমেন্টটা কিভাবে নেয়? Right. Command line argument, if I am using, say, Turbo C, if I'm using Turbo C, or even say your Dev C, and if you are running these programs from the command line, meaning if you are, say, you are running it from here, so Windows run CMD. So if you are running your program from here, so if you were running your program from here, so what do you all do? First of all, you go into the directory where your programs are stored. Okay, so I am not having any program stored over here because I do not use any compiler on this computer. I always use online compilers because I want you guys also to become familiar with online compilers. So I also always use the online compilers only. I don't have any compiler installed on this computer. So I will not be able to show that full steps to you. But the thing is, like, you usually go into the folder where your programs are. So something like this, dir codes, something like that. Sorry, change directory to codes or something like that, because I am not having any folder named as codes over here. So we go into that folder and say over there we have the say we have one program called as example1. So example1, we compile that, the executable file of the example1 is created. Is example1.out. So when we type example1.out, For example, it is given over here. So A was the name of the file. So A.c was the name of the file. Once it gets compiled, then it creates an output file. That output file is named as a.out. So usually when we run these codes from the command line, we just write, say, example1.out. Okay, I'll just rename it to a.out. And if I just simply run this, of course, there's no file over here right now. But if I just simply run like this, that is going to run. Code is going to execute. That is when I am running a program as it is. But if I want to run the program with some command line arguments, then I go a.out, and I give space, and then I give value 1, value 2, value 3, and so on and so forth. So let's say our value 1 is 1, then 10, 20, 35, so on and so forth. And so here, these extra things that I am giving, these are my command line inputs. So these are the arguments that I'm passing to the program during the runtime of the program. Now, if I were to demonstrate this same thing from your online compiler perspective, if I want to show this same thing from the online compiler perspective, then if I am using, say, the GDB compiler, so in the GDB compiler, I have the command line arguments entry point over here. So whatever data that I'm passing over here, that is my command line data. That is the command line arguments. Okay. Yes, anyone saying anything?
No, sir.
So if I'm passing any data from here, then I'm passing data through command line arguments. Now, if this is kept completely blank and I run the code, then I am actually not passing any data. I am just compiling the program normally as it is. Now, in this particular code that I have as an example shown to you guys over here, so I have purposefully made sure that if I'm not passing any input to the code, then it will print an error message and it will exit from the code. Mrinmoy, are you saying anything? Mrinmoy, could you please mute yourself? Okay, so in this particular code, I have intentionally put up this particular set of code so that I can check that if I'm not providing any input to the command line, then it is going to show an error message and it is going to exit from the compiler. Okay. So that's why, since I have not given any sort of command line inputs, that's why it is saying no input provided. So if I were to give an input over here, say 12,78, this particular example that I have shown you guys, it's the input format is in this way. So input 1, comma input. I'll explain the program. I will explain the program to you guys. Right. Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's do a fresh code. So the fresh code that we are going to be working on what's the question? The question is, write a C program to accept an integer through command line arguments. Check whether it is even or odd. Right, I already have the code written. explain. Okay, so when I'm trying to take data from the users, I have to use these extra variables, right? One is the argument counter and the other is the argument value. One thing I believe I told you guys last day that ARGC and ARGV, these two names are like keywords. We cannot use any other names. That is not true. I verified this yesterday. So I can give any sort of name that I want over here. So I can very well write A and I can make this B. Okay. I can make that A and B. But it's for simplicity's sake.
মানে স্যার ওটা কম মানে ম্যান্ডেটরি না না তাই তো মানে
Nah, that is not mandatory.
ইউ টু বাই ইউ
Yes, you can give that as any name that you want. That is a variable name, so we can give anything that we want. It is not mandatory that it has to be ARGC and ARGV. But I suppose it's easier to keep it as ARGC, ARGV so that we do not confuse that with the other variables of our program. Because usually when we write our programs, we are pretty accustomed to writing the variable names as say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H or X, Y, Z and stuff like that. So easier that we keep a different name for these so that whenever we are using these, just the name itself will help us understand that okay, that was from the command line. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is, my question is, the question is accept an integer to command line arguments and check whether it is even or odd. I have to accept an integer. So command line arguments is going to give me a string because it is a character type array. Character type array that command line arguments takes in, and we discussed the earlier day that we take a string. The string is the most versatile data type. I can convert a string into an integer. I can convert a string into a float, a double, into whatever other data type that I want. So that is the reason why it was chosen as string. But string is not going to be able to perform mathematical operations, right? The string, I cannot find out whether it's an even number or an odd. I cannot add two strings. I cannot multiply string values. I need to convert them back to a number format. I need to convert it into an integer format. So for that is I in this particular command. The A to I command converts a string value and integer value. Okay, so what's the thing that we had initially discussed, that the argument value array first element or the 0th element in the argument values array stores the name of the program. Okay, and the first index number 1 stores the first data that I am providing. So that means size of the array, if I have not provided any sort of input, if I am not providing any sort of input, then the size of the array is going to be 1. So if I am providing any input, then the size of the array is going to be at least 2. If I'm providing multiple inputs, it's more than 2. But if I'm providing any one input, then the size of the array is going to be at least 2. So that is the reason why I have put up this particular block where I am checking. If the argument counter size is equals to 1, that means I have not provided any sort of input here to my command line. I'm not providing any sort of input to the command line. That means the argument counter is 1. So it's going to give us an error message, no input provided, and it is going to exit from the code. Okay. Now, suppose I do provide a value. What's the question? Check whether it's an even number or an odd number. Okay, so let's provide this. Now I have provided one value and I'm running the code. So it gives me, yeah, entered number is odd. So what happens? This value that I have entered, this value that I have entered, this is stored in index number 1 of the array. It is stored in index number 1 of the array. Why? Because index number 0 stores the name of the code. Index number 1 stores the first input. So the data 65 is stored in index number 1 of this particular array. Okay. Now this is being stored as a string. So I need to convert it to an integer. So I'm using this particular command, a2i argv1. That means I'm converting the data in the first index position to an integer, and I'm storing it in a integer variable a. Okay. So up till this was the work associated with taking the input from the command line. Up till this is my work for taking the input from the command line. Now I have got it as a normal integer. Now I can perform any sort of work that I need to. So that's it. The rest of the code is simple. The rest of the code is you just simply divide by 2, check if there's any remainder. Of course, if dividing by 2 gives us a remainder, then the number is an odd number. And if there is no remainder, then it's an even number. So 65 is, of course, an odd number. Right. So our code gives us entered number is a odd number. Sorry. Yeah, right. Entered number is an odd number. So how is it understood? This part of it at least, how to deal with simple values. Yes.
Sir, why did you take the library function?
Why did I take the library function? Hang on 1 second. Sir. Right. Why did I take the library function? Yes. Why did I take stdlib? That was because of this command, exit command. Exit command belongs to the standard library function. If I do not take this particular command, say I comment out this statement, then if I say run this, I'm going to get a warning. See? I'm getting a warning with the a2i command as well, and also I'm getting a warning with the exit command as well. So exit command, a2i command, these belong to the library function, standard library function, standard library header file. Okay. Mr. Balli?
Yes, sir, understood.
Okay. Now, so dealing with simple data is easy. Dealing with a data where I am providing the data through, say, spaces is easy, because whenever I'm providing a space, an array, automatically based on the space, the next data is stored in the next index. So this is stored in index 1, this is stored in index 2, this is stored in index 3. Right. But what if I were to give these values as comma separated, or say semicolon separated, or say colon separated? So if I am going to give these data inputs in this format, that means entire thing is getting stored in the first index. The entire thing is getting stored in the first index, but I have to separate out these numbers individually. I have to separate out these numbers individually. So in that case, what extra process do I need to apply? Just simply applying the a to I function is not going to work. Because if I were to provide, say, if I provide something like this, and I run this code, okay, I run this code, it's going to work for this code. Why? It's going to work because the compiler is intelligent enough that it is going to take just this portion. It is going to take just this portion before the first comma. Whatever is provided before the first comma, it is going to take that and it is going to convert that into an integer. Because a comma is not a number, it's a special character. So it is going to ignore that. And it is going to ignore anything subsequent to the comma. It's going to ignore anything subsequent to the comma. It will take only anything which comes before the comma. So ultimately the value of a is only 65. Don't believe me? Let's check it out. And so, A. See, only 65. Only 65 has been taken. Right, I need to put some. So only 65 got taken. The rest of the digits got completely ignored. But now I want to write a code where I'm going to need both the values. I need 75 as well as 65, but they are, but say it is mentioned in the program that the data entry is going to be comma separated. In which quadrant the coordinate point lies. And it is mentioned that the input style is going to be x comma y. Mentioned that the input is going to be x comma y. And you need, so of course you need to deal with both x and as well as y. So now you need to get rid of this comma. You need to be somehow able to get rid of this comma and extract x and extract y. You need to be able to extract these values. So how do we approach that? Okay? We approach that in this manner. First of all, that comma is our delimiter, right? Comma is the delimiter. So with this program, this is my data entry. 12 is the first digit, 78 is the second one. 12 is the first value, x, 78 is the second value, y. And this comma is my delimiter. So that is why I have stored that delimiter in a character. I have stored that delimiter in a character ch. I have created a temporary character array. I have created a temporary character array, which I am going to require. Why I am going to require? We'll discuss it. Then I use this particular command, strchr, string compare. String compare function for characters. There are two types of string compare functions. Sorry, it's not string compare function. This is for finding. This is for finding the existence of a substring. So there is strchr, which finds the first occurrence of a character, and then there is also strstr, which finds the first occurrence of a string itself, a substring. So in this particular case, I just need the character only. strchr, this is the working of the strchr. The strchr searches for the first occurrence of character c in the string pointed by the argument str, and it returns the position as a pointer, because this is a character pointer return type. It would have been most easy for us if they would have returned it as an integer. Say it would have returned the index number, but well, we cannot do anything. The C programming has been built in that way. This is an inbuilt function, so this inbuilt function has been built in that way. It is going to return to me a pointer, a character pointer. Okay, so how do I implement this? So what I am doing is, the entire data is stored in the first index only, right? So 12,78 is stored in the first index. There is no space over here. If there was space and another number was given, say like this, then this would have been stored in the second index. But this entire thing is now stored in first index. So I am comparing, or rather I am looking for the first occurrence. I'm looking for the first occurrence of comma in the string, in this particular string, and I take the address of that. This is a pointer, so a pointer returns me an address. So I am taking the location, the position of that comma in an address form, and that I am storing into the pointer variable a. I'm storing into the pointer variable a. And what I'm doing is, I am copying everything after a. Everything after a, I am going to copy into my temporary character array is v1. So that means I am copying 78, sorry, I am copying 78 into v1. Okay, so v1 stores 78. Then I can apply the a2i functions. So a2i argv1 is going to deal only with 12. You'll find that 12 is the first number of digits. It will reach the comma. It will take everything before the comma. So this gets converted into an integer and gets stored in x. Value in v1 78. So 78 is converted into an integer and stored in y. Okay, so let's test right up till this only, till this much only. So I've printed the value of x and y. So I've given 12,78, and let's run the code. So x is 12 and y is 78. Okay, so it has managed to extract the two digits separately. It has used the process, it has used the algorithm, and it has extracted x and y out. All right. So suppose this was not a comma, suppose this was a colon. I just need to replace this one by colon. I just need to replace this by colon. Say it was and. I just need to replace this by and. So this is the delimiter that we want. Okay, is that clear? Till now, any sort of questions, any queries?
Sir, what's the function of that ATOI?
This one, A2I.
Yes, sir.
Yes, this converts a string value to an integer value. This converts a string value to an integer value. Okay. Right. Now, so the question was,
ডিলিমিটারের জায়গাটা বলছি, ডিলিমিটারের জায়গাটা আরেকবার বলবি, মানে কমার জায়গায় যদি আমি কলন দিই বা ওটা যদি এন্ড করি তো কি হবে?
আমি খালি এইটাকে চেঞ্জ করে দিলাম, এইটাকে যদি আমি এন্ড করি,
হ্যাঁ,
তাহলেই আমার প্রোগ্রামটা এরকম ভাবে যদি রইলো 12 and 78,
হ্যাঁ।
তাহলেও আমার program is going to run perfectly. Oh, কি হলো?
স্যার যদি ইনপুট 3টে নাম্বার নিই ওখানে 2টো কমা দিয়ে নিচে 3টে নিলে
বুঝতে পারলাম না।
ওই
Oh,
যে আমরা
sorry. And has a completely different and has a completely different meaning over here. That's why it is not taking. Let's say we go with colon. Colon is one to work, I believe. Yeah, colon works. And is a specific keyword. It has a different meaning. So that's why it didn't work.
তাহলে স্যার এখানে আমরা ডিলিমিটার করতে পারি না।
স্যার এখানে 12
Hold on just a second. Just a second. This book is by D. Shamanto. Debashish Shamanto. This particular book, I will give this book to you all. I have the PDF of it. Yeah. So, Classic Data Structures by D. Shamanto. This book, I will give this to you guys since I have the PDF of it. You can follow this one. It's pretty good. It's very simple. The language is very simple. It's pretty well to use, easy to use. Okay, but that apart, I would prefer that you guys follow specific websites, certain websites. These websites are going to be very, very useful for you all in the long run.
Sir, this website is really nice.
Yes, exactly. So this particular website is going to be very, very useful for all of you in the long run. Okay, Geeks for Geeks. Then there are also some other websites called as W3 Schools and W3 Resources. These are also very useful websites. Okay. So Geeks for Geeks, W3 Schools, I would actually prefer that you guys study from here because they give you questions which are, or the way that they will prepare you over here is you will automatically get prepared for your jobs as well. You will automatically get prepared for your campusing as well. So I would really prefer that you guys study from these websites, from Geeks for Geeks, W3 Schools, Resources, Cheat Code, Hacker Rank. These are websites which are very, very useful. I'll give you guys some of the names. These were some of the names. I keep on forgetting them, so that's why I've kept down. These are some of the websites that you guys can refer to. Okay. I've given it to you all in the chat box. Right. So these two way of taking user input, is it now clear for all?
Sir, if you take 3 numbers as input, will it give the same
If I
answer?
take 3 numbers as input, then this you need to repeat it again. You need to repeat this process again because this is going to give me the first occurrence of the delimiter. So 12,78, and if I were again going to take another value, say 89, then it's not going to work in this particular example because strchr is going to always give me the first occurrence of the comma. So it's going to give me this particular occurrence. So A is always going to store the address of this one. A is not going to store the address of this. So what do I do? Since I have taken that data, since I have copied that data now to my temporary variable, so that means my temporary variable temporary array now stores this one 78 comma 89. So again I can apply this finding operation. So if I were to do something like this, char v210, and I'm storing this over here, and then A only, because my work with that one is already done. So instead of argv1, this time now I select v1. Okay, so v1 comma c8, and then I copy from this function again. To v2 this. Okay, and now say comma z line z equals to 8 of v2. Let's test it. Let's test this out. What happens? Definition of A. Sorry. There you go. Okay. Is it okay now?
Yes,
Did
sir.
you understand?
Yes, sir.
So explain to me what I did. Explain what we did.
So you took another variable আর একটা কমা ওখানে বলা হচ্ছে তার পরেরটা যেখানে সেভ করা হচ্ছে সেটা আর একটা জেড দিয়ে ওটাকে প্রিন্ট করা হচ্ছে।
Exactly. So I had something like this. So my first two were 12, comma 78, comma 89. This was the first string. From that, I have separated out 12 and I have separated out 78, comma 89. Right? Now, 78, comma 89 is stored in V1. So from there, I am now going to separate out 78 and 89. That is how I separate out the three values. Clear for all? Any further doubts?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Acha. So now I want you guys attempt some very simple questions. Let's not go into solution set 2 right away. Let's do set 1 only first. Set 1. Oh, right, yeah. Before going into that, one quick thing. So, all of you are used to writing this program. everyone is used to writing this particular program, right? A hello world program. So everyone is used to this. But can you guys tell me what will happen if I were to run this one? Can you tell me what will happen if I were to run this? What will happen? Anyone has any idea? Can you take a guess what will happen? Anybody? Hello, am I audible?
স্যার ফার্স্টের দুটো আপনার লেটার ইয়ে বাদ হয়ে যাবে।
First দুটো letter বাদ হয়ে যাবে. Yes, exactly. It is going to print from here. This question was asked in one of the aptitude rounds of TCS. We are used to the printf command. We know how the printf command works. But these are some of the hidden features of the printf command. These are some of the additional features of the printf command. So these sort of tricky questions are asked by the IT companies. This was an MCQ based question. So there was like 4 MCQ options. One option was hello world only. One option was 2. One option was this one, of course, LLO world. And the other one was compiler error. So majority of these students, they go for compiler error or they go for hello world only. So they don't really like interpret the question in a proper way. Okay, what about this one? What about this one? What will happen here? I am using printf statement, but the output of the I am storing something in A.
So this is compiler error.
This is compiler error. Okay, let's run and see what happens. What happened here? It printed the statement and then it printed 11. How did 11 come about?
স্যার ইনক্লুডিং দ্য স্পেস অ্যান্ড দ্য ফুল হ্যালো ওয়ার্ল্ড ইট কাউন্টেড অল দ্য
Yes, it counted all the digits. It counted how many characters the printf statement has printed. It counted how many characters it printed. The printf statement. Okay. Now, how about this one? How about this one? Now, what do you think will happen? Very slight difference between the earlier question and this question. The earlier question was an integer. A was an integer. This time A is a boolean. What do you think will happen?
So hello world one print হবে
ফলস দেবে কি ফলস
Hello world and 1 is going to be printed.
ওকে আচ্ছা স্যার একটা
এইখানটা
ডাউট
করে-
আছে আগের যে প্রোগ্রামটা করলাম মানে ওই যেটা দেখালেন স্যার আমরা
কোনটা?
তো আপনার স্ট্রিং এর লেন্থ না ক্যালকুলেট করে এরকমও তো করতে পারি
কোনটা?
স্যার আগে
This
যে
one?
প্রোগ্রামটা করলেন না এটা নয় এটা
না স্যার ইন্টিজার ইন্টটাকে যে প্রিন্ট করে দেওয়া হলো
হ্যাঁ ইন্টার যে প্রিন্ট করলেন 11 এলো
ও
তো
আচ্ছা।
স্যার ওটা তো আমরা করে আপনার স্ট্রিং লেন্থ না বের করে ওটাও তো করতে পারি যদি কোনো প্রোগ্রাম ইউটিলাইজ করি
Yes, absolutely. You can do that, but what will happen is it will run the printf statement. It will run the printf statement, and it will work only if you are using the print over here. If you are using a statement over here, if you are wanting to calculate the length of a string, then this function is not really very helpful to you,
Okay, sir.
right? In that case, strlen string length function is a direct one that actually directly does the job.
Okay, sir. Here, if only the user give it beforehand, then only it's going to calculate it.
Yes, and not just that. Actually, these are sort of tricky questions. So again, this was one of the trick questions which was asked in the TCS. So what they did was something like this: a equals to printf 1 plus if 2 plus printf 3, and then they did this, and they asked what is going to be the output.
Sir, এখানেও 11 হবে, I guess.
ইয়েস, কারণ আলটিমেটলি আমি ওই অত কটাই দিয়ে দিয়েছি। Now it's going to be 13. Okay, so
Yes.
these are tricky questions. Like, since we have gone through example, you are able to now tell. But if you have not seen this thing before, then it's not very easy to catch that what's going to happen. You are going to think that this is going to give you a compiler error. These sort of tricky questions is what these companies ask you. Okay, leave all these aside. Just a little bit of trivia that I wanted to share with you guys. So these are the 10 questions I want you all to attend, and I want you all to show me the answers. I want you all to show me, share your screen, show me the results. So I've given you the 10 questions in the chat box. All the 10 questions in the chat box. Solve them. These are very simple questions, very, very simple questions. Solve them and share your screen and show your code. Okay, so 1 hour in hand, 10 questions, very easy. Okay, so attend these 10 questions, giving you say 15-20 minutes, and I'm going to ask you guys show your outputs. First 6, 7, 8, 9 questions are absolutely childish questions, absolutely basic, simple ones. Only the 10th one will require some amount of effort. Everything else is just absolutely simple, school level stuff. Only the 10th question will require some little bit of effort.
স্যার
Come
এগুলো
on,
কি
be
মানে এমনি
fast.
করবো নাকি কমান্ড লাইন?
Yes, I would want that you do it with command line because I want you guys to become, like familiar with. I want you guys to become comfortable with dealing with command lines. In fact, do it both ways. Use scanf for it and also use command lines for it. Okay, so that you guys can become comfortable with these processes. Scanf as well as command line. Okay, so I'm putting myself on mute. I'm here. You call. If you have any question, you can ask me. I'm putting myself on mute. Solve these questions, and it's 11:30. So at 11:45, I will ask you guys to show, maybe say the first 5 questions. And by that time, hopefully you will have completed with the 10th question. Then I want you to show the 10th question. বাকিগুলো তো সহজ আছে, ঠিকই আছে। 10 নম্বর কোয়েশ্চেনটাকে
স্যার 10 নম্বরটা হয়ে গেছে, দেখাবো?
না, ঠিক আছে, 10 মিনিট আর একটু টাইম দিই, বাকিরাও একবার অ্যাটেম্প করুক। তারপর 12:10-এ, আচ্ছা 12:10 না, 12:15-তে শো করবে। It will be it for. তো অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট সেট 2 যেটা, অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট সেট 2টা তাহলে কি একটা হোমওয়ার্ক হিসেবে দেব নাকি পরের দিন we will solve? That you guys say.
স্যার পরের
Assignment
দিন
set
solve
পরের দিন solve. আচ্ছা। Assignment set 2 is also 10 questions. See, these questions you can see, none of them are conditional based. These are absolute simple stuff. Assignment set is going to have, those are conditional statement based. এরকম ভাবে বানানো অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট সেট। অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট সেট করবে, তারপর অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট সেট 3 যেটা দেবো সেখানটা করে সুইচ কেস থাকবে, একটু লুপস থাকবে, ঠিক আছে? তো আমরা তাহলে এইরকম একটা একটু অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট সেটস গুলো করে নিয়ে recapitulation, a little bit of basic C programming, and তারপরেতে we will like into the hard areas of ঠিক আছে না? So 12:10 দিচ্ছি।